Hello, everyone. This is a follow up to our episode where we said there is a massive fraud inside the Codex Sinaiticus Project online. And this is the home website. And somebody, a commentator on our YouTube channel, pointed me at this webpage to indicate that we have an admission that they relied upon Anderson. And I think you should hear what their admission is because they actually say it was not a literal translation. So let's take a look at this. I'm going to now zoom in on it in the section so you can all see what they say. I don't know why it's grayed out, but it's just the way it looks. Oh, there it is. Okay. So it reads, the Codex Sinaiticus Project was primarily a conservation, digitization, transcription, and publication project. So they're saying that's our primary goal. And the reason they're saying that is because they're going to say our goal isn't to actually communicate it into a language anyone can understand. Okay. It did not aim to undertake a new English translation of the writings preserved in the manuscript. So it's assuming, but the statement itself assumes there was a prior English translation. So what they're doing is they're saying we're relying upon a prior translation. That's what they're going to say next. So let's read the next paragraph. The English translation of the New Testament part of Codex Sinaiticus used on the website was taken from the translation by Henry Tompkins Anderson in the New Testament, translated from the Sinaitic manuscript discovered by Constantine Tischendorf at Mount Sinai, Cincinnati, 1918. Now, I just want to stop there. These guys have no clue that the digitization project didn't exist at that time, and there was no way that this Mr. Anderson could have had access to something in the Bible British Museum unless that's what he says in the book, unless there's some real reason to believe he is truly translating the Codex Sinaiticus. This is an incredible thing for them to say. We're going to rely upon this man in an era where there was no digitization. Just amazing. This out of copyright translation does not provide a literal translation of the text in Codex Sinaiticus, but was included in the website to serve as a navigational aid. So they're not taking any responsibility for what it says. It admits that it does not provide a literal translation of the text in Codex Sinaiticus. Well, what do you mean literal? I think they really mean it does not provide an accurate. I think they know it isn't accurate, and literal is not the right word. It's fraudulent. So do they know of the frauds? That there might be more than the fraud I found. The Second Peter 1:10. I mean, that's clearly not a translation. That's somebody who's pretending to be doing a translation and using the name of Mr. Anderson, many years after he's dead, to sell a book, a translation of the Greek New Testament in English. He'd already done that book, and with no intent to translate the Codex Sinaiticus. And then later he was working on a project to translate the Codex Sinaiticus, supposedly. Anyway, this is just a proof, though, that the Codex Sinaiticus Project itself is disclaiming any responsibility to give us an English New Testament version. And they're relying upon Mr. Anderson, and they're just warning us that it's not literal, so you can't take it for as if it were real. The problem is that who's going to go to this page about the project? Typically, you're going to go exactly what I do, and like other people would do. You would assume that a responsible organization like this isn't going to be digitizing all this text without caring what the words are in English or in some language. Okay, so it dawned on me that what we need to do now as a community, this Jesus Words Only community, is I'm going to start it, is we're going to do a English translation of the Codex Sinaiticus. And I enjoy the fact they have 3 elements that they require for you to do that. So just so you know, if you go to About the Project, you too can download the XML file. So Adobe products usually are able to read anything in XML. So you might need to get FrameMaker or some other similar Adobe product. Then you go over here and you download the file. I've done that. And then you got to learn these rules. Now, here's what the rules are. There are 3 elements. Okay, it says here, let's read this from the beginning. Introduction to the download. So they're telling you we're going to give you an XML download of the electronic transcription of the Codex Sinaiticus, meaning the electronic form of the words of the Greek. And the alternative, if you didn't use this, you have to go verse by verse with their online version, where they show you the actual verse, and each verse is separated out in a small digital form of the Greek, so you can read it there. This way, it's all in one place and it's all one document. Anyway, so here's what they say. The text of Codex Sinaiticus on this website is generated from an electronic transcription encoded in XML, extensible markup language. On this page, it is possible to download, meaning this web page. It is possible to download the file containing the full XML transcription for further analysis and translation, my friends. There's been no English translation of the most important document of Christianity that's ever been found other than the Dead Sea Scrolls. Maybe more important than Dead Sea Scrolls to Christians, and yet it's never been translated into English. Well, you're going to find out why. They put a restriction on this, but it's a restriction only a volunteer organization can comply with. People who want to make money will never do anything, because listen to what they said. This data is made available under a Creative Commons license, and it means the license is what follows. So there's 3 points. 1, it may not be used for commercial purposes, meaning you cannot make a profit. So only a volunteer group of people dedicated to a honest and true translation can do this work. 2, attribution must be made to the original creators. That means this Codex Sinaiticus Project, codexsinaiticus.org. Okay, we'll do that. And any derivatives must also be made freely available under the same terms as this original data. No problem. We'll make it available free to the world. For further information on the license, see the following. Now, the only thing is we're not going to translate the Epistle of Barnabas or the Shepherd of Hermas. Maybe we'll do Shepherd of Hermas, but that's not our New Testament. We want to find what were the works of our New Testament and what did they say, and we can leave those other books for other people to do translations. And I think maybe somebody has done those independently. Okay, now that's it. And I'm going to say, hey, this is exciting. We now have a project to work on.